Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the Dark Prince, the real Dracula. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with special editions on Thursdays. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Who was Dracula? Was he a tyrant or a hero? Did he really drink the blood of his victims? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at this legendary tyrant who was known as Cepes, the Impaler. Vlad III ruled as voivode, meaning warlord, of Wallachia 3 times. He is often considered one of the most important rulers in Wallachian history and a national hero of Romania. He was the second son of Vlad III, hence the name Dracula, meaning son of the dragon or devil. Vlad and his younger brother Radu were held as hostages in 1442 by the Ottoman Empire. This was done to secure their father's loyalty to the Ottoman Empire. What became of his father? Vlad's eldest brother and their father were murdered by John Hunyadi, regent governor of Hungary, when he invaded Wallachia in 1447. Hunyadi then installed Vlad's second cousin, Vladislav II, as the new voivode. Hunyadi launched a military campaign against the Ottomans in the autumn of 1448, and Vladislav accompanied him. Vlad broke into Wallachia with Ottoman support in October. However, Vladislav returned and Vlad once again sought refuge with the Ottomans. Later, Vlad traveled to Moldova and eventually to Hungary. Relations between Hungary and Vladislav later deteriorated, and in 1456, Vlad invaded Wallachia with Hungarian support. Vlad's forces were victorious and his cousin was killed during the battle. Now victorious, Vlad began a purge of the Wallachian boyars to strengthen his position. Next, Vlad came into conflict with the Transylvanian Saxons who supported his opponents. In retaliation, he then plundered the Saxon villages. As a show of his power, Vlad returned to Wallachia with his captives and had them impaled. The horrified claimed that wherever Vlad was victorious, he left behind a forest of the impaled. Hence his cognomen, Vlad the Impaler. At length, peace was once again restored. However, it did not last very long. The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II ordered Vlad to pay homage to him personally. His response to the Sultan's 2 envoys was impalement. Vlad then launched a series of attacks on Ottoman territory. As a show of force, Vlad massacred tens of thousands of Turks and Muslim Bulgarians. The Sultan retaliated by assaulting Wallachia in an attempt to replace Vlad with his brother as the kingdom's new voivode. Vlad went to Transylvania to seek assistance from the king of Hungary, Matthias Corvinus. The king not only refused his aid, he had Vlad thrown into prison. After 13 years of imprisonment, he was released at the request of King Stephen III of Moldova. To display his gratitude, Vlad served in Corvinus's army against the Ottomans in Bosnia. It was in the Bosnian campaign that Vlad once again resorted to his terror tactics. With captured Turkish soldiers, only one fate awaited them: mass impalement. It was said that Vlad reveled at watching them suffer as they slowly died. He was even supposed to have taken his meals at this time, and oftentimes using the blood of the suffering as his condiment of choice. When asked about his extreme cruelty, Vlad retorted that his actions were necessary for the sake of a Christian peace. What of these rumors? Could they be true? Frankly, we just don't know. What we do know is that he impaled thousands of prisoners of war, and he reveled at the massacre of civilians in the conquered settlements. In the year 1477, Vlad was killed in a battle near the village of Snagov. According to the most reliable sources, Vlad's army of 2,000 men were cornered and destroyed by a combined force of Turks and Basarabs. The exact circumstances of his death are unclear. However, according to Leonardo Botta, the Milanese ambassador, the Ottomans cut Vlad's corpse into pieces, and his head was placed high on a stake for display in Constantinople. What of the rest of his corpse? We really don't know, as rumors abound. Vlad was supposed to have been buried at the monastery of Snagov, yet years later what was found under his tombstone were the bones of horses. Modern historians generally believe that Vlad was most probably buried in the First Church of Kamana Monastery, which is near the battlefield where he was killed. What about the legacy of Vlad Dracula? Stories about his brutal acts began circulating during his lifetime. The papal legate Niccolò Modrusiense believed that these stories to be true and wrote of them to Pope Pius II. In turn, the Pope included them in his commentaries. What then prompted Bram Stoker to base his character Count Dracula on such a despicable butcher as Vlad Tepes? This we will discuss in part 2 of The Dark Prince, The Real Dracula. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a channel sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue producing quality videos, and buying me a coffee always makes my day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.